All right, welcome everyone to this transfer financial aid session. My name is Mia Strautsis, she, her pronouns. I'm one of our transfer admissions counselors, and I'm going to pass it to our amazing presenters to introduce themselves and get started. And we can kick it off with Nadia, then Myra, then Sharon, then Jenna.
Sounds good. Hello, everyone. I'm Nadia Rogers, and I serve as a financial aid counselor and outreach coordinator for Student Financial Services. I was a transfer student myself, so this population is near and dear to my heart. I know just how hard this process can be, but I'm so excited to be part of your transition to SU. Welcome to the Redhawks.
And hello, my name is Myra. Oh my gosh, my voice. My name is Myra. I use she, her, ella pronouns, and I'm the student persistence specialist here at SU. Welcome.
Hi there, Sharon Leary, Student Employment Director at SU. I use she, her pronouns. Excited to talk to you a little bit more about student employment opportunities at SU.
And I'm Jenna Mole. I'm a financial aid counselor with Nadia, and I'm the work study coordinator.
Okay, so we are going to get started here. And really today is all about managing your educational investment. Many of you are coming from community colleges where the cost is lower than an SU education. And so we want to prepare you with all of the different finance options that you have to make your dream of SU come true. So to kick it off, the best way to be prepared is to really understand your cost. What are you paying for when you come to SU? And so we have what's called a direct cost and then what's called an indirect cost. And so those direct costs are going to be billed straight to your student account. So we're thinking of things like tuition, fees, and room and board if you're living on campus. Some of those indirect costs, the things that you want to keep kind of in the back of your mind that you'll need to pay for are things like books and supplies, transportation, those personal expenses that you might have, and other documented educational expenses as well. And those all add up to your total cost of attendance. To kind of give you a number by number breakdown of what this looked like for this academic year. So for 2022-2023, our overall cost of attendance is $69,798. And we bill by quarter, so that's going to be broken up into thirds. But this is just to really give you an idea of what those actual numbers look like. And as you're going through and looking at all of your documents and really trying to prepare, a really helpful tool that's available on our website is the net price calculator. So this is going to ask you a slew of financial questions to really give you a prediction of how much you'll actually have to pay when you come to SU. With that being said, we encourage all of our students to apply for financial aid. As a transfer student, I'm sure that many of you are already familiar with the FAFSA application, but to really help you be prepared, we want to give you some tips and tricks moving forward. The most important thing is that you make sure that you file the correct FAFSA with the correct tax year. So for those of you that are starting in winter quarter, you're going to file the 2022-2023 FAFSA, and it's going to be based off of financial information from the 2020 tax year. For those of you that are starting in spring, it'll be still that 2022-2023 FAFSA with the 2020 tax year. If you're planning to join us in summer, that will be the start of the 2023-2024 FAFSA. Crazy to think that we're already getting prepared for that, and that'll be based off of the 2021 tax year. One of the biggest questions that we get, especially from our transfer population, is how to understand dependency versus independency status. Many of you have been working for years, you're supporting yourself, you're paying your own tuition. And so the question really lies, do I have to provide parent financial data on the FAFSA? To answer the question, most of you are still going to be considered a dependent student. So the IRS has a whole separate criteria for what they label as independent versus dependent that differs from Department of Education. And so question 43 to 57 on the FAFSA application, if a student cannot answer yes to one of those questions, at SU and at any school that you attend, we have to consider you a dependent student, and we will require parent information on the FAFSA. And so what the FAFSA application does is it provides us with your estimated family contribution, or your EFC. And we use this number to determine your financial need. And we know that finances change, right? For some families, that changes on a week to week, month to month, year to year basis, especially in light of the aftermath. I struggle to say that we're over with the pandemic because so many of us are still recovering. But with that being said, we want you to know that we have a process in place to really go through your finances with a fine-tooth comb and make sure that we have all of the accurate information. And so we call this process an EFC recalculation, where we review special circumstances. And this could be things like a change in income, high medical or dental expenses, loss of income for you or a parent. These are all things that we can look at to reevaluate your financial aid. Looking forward, just to kind of give you a snapshot of what financial aid can look like when you come to SU, these are the things that we're evaluating you for. To start, you have scholarships, and those are going to be based off of merit or financial need. And they could come from SU, or some of you even have outside scholarships from other organizations that you're bringing in. At SU, that could look like your Achievement Scholarship, which is your merit, the McGoldrick Scholarship, or maybe a Sullivan Leadership Scholarship. In addition, there are grants, and those are generally based off of financial need. And those are usually determined by filing the FAFSA or the WASFA. Those would be things like Pell, the Washington College Grant, or Washington College Bound. In addition, there's work study, which is also determined by the FAFSA. And Jenna's going to go over that kind of in depth later. So I'm going to save all of the nitty gritty of work study for Jenna because she has way more information than I do. And then there's also educational loans, and that could be something like the Parent Plus loan. You have your unsubsidized and subsidized loan offers from filing the FAFSA. And then you also have the option to tap into a private educational loan from a lender of your choice. Some of you might also be tapping into some non-financial aid options for financing, such as a personal savings account or a 529. You might have an aunt or an uncle or a grandparent that's helping to make payments. We also have interest-free payment plans through SU, and also veteran benefits if you yourself are a veteran, or if you're using benefits from a parent. As we talk about managing this financial investment that you all are going to make, there are some untapped opportunities. And one of the best things about attending a university like SU is that we really work in partnership with one another to build finance plans and help you through this process of college. And so I have the pleasure of handing this over to my good colleague Myra in Student Persistence, who's going to really go over some more untapped opportunities of this opportunity that you have. Myra, take it away.
Thank you, Nadia. All right. Yeah. So thinking about this financial aid letter, sometimes we see that number and we notice that we still need even more money, right? And so that's when our outside scholarships and us applying to scholarships as students comes into play. And that's where my office can come in and help you as well. So there's some great outside scholarship resources on this slide that you are free to take a picture of, so that you can even apply to these now, not being a student at SU yet. These are very public resources that you can apply to, like CapEx, College Board, financialaid.org. There's other ones like Unigo and things like that. You can use Google and find ways to be applying to scholarships outside. The greatest piece of advice that I always give students is like, have it be a habit of yourself to be applying to scholarships. Give yourself a monthly goal. Every month I'm going to be applying to 1 or 4 scholarships a month, that's once a week, and make sure that it becomes a daily practice to have money already before you come into SU. Next slide, please. Some resources that SU does offer when you do come into our campus is a platform called Scholarship Universe. And so this is a great platform that we're partnershiped through Scholarship Universe and SU, where you get personal scholarship matching, right? So you can come into our office and we can go through this process with you. But basically what it does is it matches you with both SU and public scholarships that then it's an easy place, a one-stop shop to kind of apply and keep track of all your applications. And it's really great about this is that it's always updating new scholarships. My office, other offices on campuses can be putting more and more scholarships on there. So that's ever changing. And that's something that you can always refer to your 4 years here at SU, 4 or 5 years. Yeah. Next slide. Now my office is a great resource. I can help prospective students as well as admitted students and current students. I can help with scholarship guidance, any resource referrals, honestly, anything that's to navigate the institution. You don't know who to ask a certain question, right? So maybe you have a question, you're like, I don't know who to go to. I don't know what office does this. You can always stop with me first, and I can give you great resources to either look online or meet with somebody else. We help with financial wellness, academics, any resources, anything like that to kind of help you. Maybe you just need help. I don't know how to email this person. I don't know exactly what to say, right? And so you can always reach out to me. In 2 different platforms, if you can change slides. I have 2 ways you can meet with me. I'm currently fully virtual until January. So you can go ahead and do my virtual drop-in hours on Thursdays from 12:30 to 1:30. And then you can also meet with me in one-on-one meetings via Zoom. And I'll have my Zoom link at the end of the presentation. So you can go ahead and find me through there. Additionally, when you do become a student, we have other resources on campus that can also help financially. Our great Office of Multicultural Affairs, which is OMA. OMA has a great food security initiative. That means we have a really great food pantry on campus. We have a great SNAP benefits, a benefit like workshops. So SNAP benefits is a federal food support. And so there's a Gabby, which is on campus. She can go in depth through the application with you. And then there's also this other option of emergency dining cards. So there's other options that we can also help that is not just paying for school, but also like that living of being at SU, because we do understand that going to SU and going to a private university can be expensive. So we want to make sure that we have all different resources to help you holistically. And then now we're going to go ahead and pass it over to student employment.
Yeah. Thanks. So student employment is one way to help fund your education at SU. And so when I'm talking about student employment, I'm talking about mostly our on-campus work opportunities, but also some off-campus work opportunities with our partner organizations. So rather than just any job anywhere, right, these are opportunities that are provided specifically by SU to help you offset the cost of education and also help you gain valuable skills and competencies, because that's a really additional important part. Is if you're going to work on campus, we want to make sure that it's a valuable experience for you, something that you can add to your resume, and that is going to help you propel your career forward. In addition to making that money and to gaining skills, it's also a really great way to meet people and to build community, as well as to even just explore careers, right? You might start doing something in an office on campus and discover like, oh, I actually really like creating designs in Canva, and maybe I'll consider doing something more in marketing, right? As an example. So it's a really, I think, a great opportunity for more than just sort of earning a paycheck, while that is one very nice bonus. Jenna, why don't you tell folks a little bit more about the different types of student employment?
Sure. So as Sharon mentioned, we have both on-campus and off-campus. For on-campus, the really 2 options are federal work study and non-federal work study, and I'll kind of get into what those mean. But also for off-campus, we have state work study. Okay, so what is federal work study? So federal work study is an opportunity for students with financial need to work on campus. It's generally added to your financial aid. If you want to see if you have it, you can go on to your My Seattle U if you have access, and check your financial aid award. letter. If you don't have it and you're wondering, is it possible that we could add it? You could email your financial aid counselor or financial aid services. One thing to keep in mind about federal work study is that it's not a guarantee of a job. You still have to apply, interviewed, and be hired. Also, the earnings are paid to you. So those indirect costs that Nadia was talking about, personal expenses, books, transportation, these are all a really great way to use your work study earnings. But what if you don't have federal work study, and what if you reach out and it turns out you're not eligible for it? Well, that's okay. There are many non-work study jobs available on campus, and these jobs are also open to international students as well. So for state work study, so this I think is especially relevant to transfer students because we generally award state work study to students who are 3rd or 4th years. State work study is an opportunity for students with financial need and who are Washington State residents of Washington State to work off campus. Currently, it's just off campus. There are some on-campus opportunities coming, so stay tuned. This would also be included in your financial aid offer. Again, if you don't have it and you're wondering if you could add it, you can always reach out. We do have some off-campus partners already, but we're always open. If you find a job in the area and you want to see is it possible that I could use my work study here, then we could definitely look into that and see if they could be approved to become an off-campus partner. A little bit different than federal work study. The organization pays you, and then we reimburse some of those wages to the organization. Okay, so I'm going to take it back to Sharon.
Yeah, so just some other kind of details about working on campus. You are eligible to work up to 20 hours per week, and you can have multiple jobs, but between those multiple jobs, only 20 hours. So we do have some students who work in different offices on campus. During academic breaks, so say winter break, spring break, even summer break, when you're not registered for classes, you can work up to 40 hours. So it does allow you to work a little bit more. Our current pay rate in all on-campus jobs is $17.27 an hour. And like Jenna said, those are paid hourly through either direct deposit or through a paycheck. So it goes right to you and not to your student account. In order to be eligible, you just have to be registered at least half-time and maintain good academic standing. And then a lot of questions that we commonly get are like, can I make my own schedule? Do I have to work in the office? Are there remote opportunities? And the answer is yes. It all depends on the department and the job that they have available, right? So we'll look at what some of those jobs are, right? Some of it is like ticket representative. And if it's a ticket representative, you're probably going to have to be somewhere to collect tickets, right? But if you're working as like an office assistant for an office, there might be some remote work that you're able to do. So it's really going to be dependent upon the department, and you can look at the job descriptions to see what the options are. So that kind of brings me to like how to find the opportunities, etc. So as soon as you are committed to coming to SU in the quarter previous to that, you can go ahead and start applying. You're going to apply on Handshake, which I'll cover in just a second. That's our university job board, which is where all jobs are posted for all SU students and alumni. So you might go there to find internships or jobs when you graduate. You'll also go there to find jobs in student employment. Before we get to that, just doing our due diligence here is that just remember that if you plan on working on campus, you're going to have to do an I-9, which is new hire paperwork at any employer in the US. And for that, we have to verify your identity and your work authorization. So don't forget to bring your passport to campus, or If you don't have a passport, bring your birth certificate or your social security card. And if you're an international student, then you might also need to apply for a social security number if you don't have one. So just heads up on that as you get ready to join us. So I mentioned Handshake. Again, university job portal. You can find jobs and internships. You can connect with various employers. Also, you can find career events and workshops. So if you want to work on your resume, there's events that you will see there. Maybe you want to connect with an employer. So it's a really great platform and resource that I want you to make sure you get familiar with. And this is where you would find all of our on-campus jobs. So there's the, you can either go to the career engagement website and find the Handshake button, or go to seattleu.joinhandshake.com. Once you're in there, you will log in with your single sign-on. So really easy. You don't have to set up an account. You're already in there. And then what you'll do is you'll go to jobs and you'll search for jobs. A few tips here. One is to filter for on-campus student employment at the top in the filters. Another trick is that all of our on-campus jobs are posted under the employer, which is titled Seattle University On-Campus Employment. So if you find that employer and you favorite that employer, you will be sure not to miss anything that is posted through the on-campus employment account. So again, get yourself familiar with Handshake for find some on-campus jobs, but just get yourself using that. And just to promote a few opportunities, this is just a small smattering of things that are there right now. Again, available to students who have both work study eligibility as well as non-work study. If you don't have work study, you can still apply to these jobs. So there's a career education intern, lots of office assistant positions, as I mentioned earlier, things like graphic designer or building engineer, which is in facilities, really cool jobs if you're in an engineering major, Red Hawk ambassador, things in our university recreation center, UREC, lifeguards. They're looking for personal trainers and group fitness instructors. There's really cool service opportunities out of our community engagement, our Center for Community Engagement, rather. So working with some of the schools in the local area, and then building safety monitor with our public safety. I mentioned ticket office representative, right? So there's really a wide variety of opportunities. There's also things like research, and those are often promoted right out of the department, and you can connect with professors. So there's stuff that's going to be like great skill building for any job that you might get, right? And then some that might be really specifically relevant to the work that you want to do, or to your major or your program, etc.
Thank you, Sharon. I didn't realize there were so many cool opportunities out there right now for students. That is incredible.
Yeah.
So moving along, this is our contact information. And just to let you know, if you find one of us at SU, you really do find us all. We're going to get you in touch with the person that has the answers to your questions. But if you have any questions now, it's a great time to ask.